Welcome to Jesse Watters Primetime. I'm Kayleigh McEnany, and for Jesse. Well, let's start here. Francesca Hong is officially out. Wisconsin's Democrat gubernatorial primary came down to the wire. David Crowley, who dropped out of the race before dropping back in, squeaked by one of the country's farthest left candidates by less than 4,000 votes. Once the race was called, Hong thanked her supporters.
We have built something that will change politics forever. The work we have done will be remembered forever. We are fighting to become once more what Wisconsin has always been, a place where our future is determined not by corporations and billionaires.
Now, all night long, Hong was feeling pretty good about her prospects. You could see it on stage, probably because she seemed like a shoo-in. Final polls had her up by 20 points a week before the election, and there were multiple polls like that. But somewhere between the celebration and the count, Wisconsin got cold feet. Maybe all of the socialism talk was a turnoff. Maybe it was her unorthodox campaign style. Maybe it was her disdain of the holidays.
Well, Joe, it turns out Wisconsin Democrats like Thanksgiving.
Well, she said she was for Thanksgiving after all by the end. But yeah, no doubt this is a big shock for Democrats.
There's probably a lot of reasons that she failed to cross the finish line. Maybe it was her defund the police posts, defund ICE, abolish ICE, the socialist policies she then disavowed. But Hong's holding her head high, and she's not riding off into the sunset just yet. She's linking arms with the guy who just beat her, ready to take on the Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany. And Crowley's glad to have her on board.
I especially want to thank Representative Francesca Hong. Her campaign reminded people across Wisconsin that there are no long shots when it comes to believing in a better future and fighting to expand opportunities to every family.
But it takes a village to win, and the failed Senate candidate who lost to El Sayed thinks that Crowley can beat the Republican.
I serve with him in the House, and he is a nice guy, but he is kind of narrow, all right? And he's deeply conservative, and his big priority is wolves. He wants to hunt wolves. I'm not kidding. He's talked to me about it many times on the House floor. Crowley, on the other hand, is an executive operator, and I think he's, moving and grooving to this governorship.
Now it's coming down to wolves, in her words. Well, Tom Tiffany is prepared for battle, pitching himself as a dairy farmer and a girl dad, and he has an economic plan, too. Meanwhile, Democrats are throwing Hong a going-away party. A donor advisor said her loss is, quote, good for the movement, and she was the problem. Quote, this is a far better outcome, and says that it is so close that a progressive who doesn't say the dumbest bleep in the world, like Thanksgiving should not exist, would have won. Well, if the socialists really wanted to win, they needed to listen to James Carville and keep Hong's hands off the stupid AI idea generator.
I think these are windows into the souls of these anti-American radical communists. If you hate Thanksgiving and you hate the 4th of July, what you're really saying is, I hate some of the pillars that undergird American culture. And how are you going to have a conversation with a voter about affordability or public safety or anything else if you're trying to get rid of Thanksgiving and the 4th of July?
He's not wrong. Voters did not need a window into Hong's life. They just needed her to like Thanksgiving. But the Democrats don't think the message is the problem.
The media will do everything in its power to try to discourage you. They will tell you you're a loser. They'll say, oh, DSA, your candidate was oh, Francesca Hong was bad. She was a bad candidate. Oh, she didn't like Thanksgiving. Them.
That was Hassan Piker, and everyone's pointing fingers, even him. The machine, meanwhile, is blaming the polls.
We have to talk about how off the polling is between Wisconsin and Michigan.
Let's talk about that.
I think it's a really
that's the story of all this right now.
It's really the polling is off.
Well, the polls might have been off, but the Democrats still got a taste of victory last night. Out in Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar won, and Tim's Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan, won her primary for Senate. She was the progressive, and she's marching right into November.
We need to rip ICE apart and stop them from terrorizing our communities. And I know this. I I know that we can fix our broken immigration system, secure the border, and create a real pathway to citizenship that aligns with our values.
And she's not stopping with ICE.
But what about gender-affirming care and an age? Should there be an age limit?
I think gender-affirming care is part of healthcare. People need
Should there
access
be an age limit for it?
to healthcare. I think our law, as it stands, is a good law.
Okay, so you support the law as is, no limit. So if a 10-year-old wanted it, you would be okay with that?
Let me be clear, Pam.
Yeah.
I want to be clear that these, medical decisions absolutely should be made between a family and their doctor.
And Abdul El-Sayed, he is following right along.
I believe that Medicare for all should cover all health care.
Yeah.
Which is defined by what a patient needs in accordance with their doctor. So that includes reproductive rights, right? That includes gender-affirming care.
So apparently it's Medicare for all, trans for all, but if you're not an adult, parents need to sign off. This isn't just staying in the Midwest. Connecticut Democrats also took home a big win. Mariam Khan won her primary for state Senate. She'll be their first taste of socialism in Connecticut. And once you go socialist, you can't go back. It's averse to America, what it's all about. But their policies are moving in, and they're not paying rent. They weren't always this far left, though. AOC and Bernie Sanders threw the DSA doors right open, and now they can't close them.
The paper members might be, think AOC and Bernie Sanders are great and let's get Medicare for all. That is not the hardcore that's running the organization. It is not. They are extremists. They believe, many of them believe, that any means are justified to achieve their goal. They are explicitly revolutionaries. They want to pull down our government institutions. They want to pull down our economic order. And they believe, they really do believe this, that they can build something better in its place.
And New York City's got the biggest socialist of all, Zohran Mamdani, and the state isn't on board. Look at this. Almost half of New Yorkers aren't in favor of socialism. If Democrats want to keep any wind in their sails, Hong's loss needs to be the wake-up call. Far-left policies can't be sold by a shaky, unorthodox line cook. Running on canceling the holidays isn't going to win you a single thing, and neither is their radical wish list.
They've listed what they believe in. Their chair made that clear. We're going to get rid of ICE, not just ICE, we're going to get rid of the border. We're not going to have a border anymore. We're not going to effectively control people coming in and out of the country. We're going to get rid of prisons. We're going to get rid of the Pentagon. You need an army. You don't like to have an army, but you do need to have one. But the problem with the big tent defense is every Democrat has to defend all this crap coming from the left.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.